Hey, it's Courier Girl, and I want to talk about how to find courier jobs because I get asked this a lot. Like, how do you find a job as a courier? I guess people are having trouble with it, and so I want to give you some tips that will help you kind of get in the job hunting mode. So, if you don't have a job or if you're looking for a new job, you want to be a courier, part time, full time, whatever, then your job becomes to find a job. So you have to take it seriously. Like, my job is to find a job in this industry. It can be any industry, but we're talking courier stuff here. So, and you have to go into detective mode. All right. Um, you can't just, sit there saying, oh, I don't know where the jobs are and not do anything about it, or you're not going to find any jobs. So, let me give you a rundown of some ways that I would be a detective and figure out where the courier jobs in my area are and how to get on board. Now, it is easier, and this is life in general, it's any job. Everybody's got their jobs posted on the internet, on Indeed, and different job sites and whatever. But the truth is, a lot of people still get jobs through people they know. So if you know anybody who's doing deliveries or is a courier, anybody at all, then hook up with them and ask them for a referral to the company. And it can just be them saying, oh yeah, tell them that I sent you. And then you can call that company and said, hey, Jim Jones works for you and he told me to give you a call that you might need some help. So that little extra in makes a difference. I got my first courier job because I knew somebody who was already working in a company. And it made it really easy for me because he gave me a good recommendation. And so the guy decided to give me a try, even though I had no courier experience. So that is first and foremost, if you can find somebody who's already doing it. Okay, second, go to Google and type in a search and just do courier jobs in and then put your city or town. Courier jobs in Cincinnati, Ohio is what I would put, or courier companies in and in your area. And click on some of the links because some of them are misleading. Like, I'll get ads in web results for Columbus, Louisville, Lexington, cities around me, but not in my immediate area. And those are good too, but back burner those for a minute. So see if you can find courier companies in your area and then make a list of them. Check out their website, get an idea of what kind of work they do. Some specialize and some are more general. And then, armed with all that information so you can talk intelligently, give them a call and just say, hey, I see that you do medical courier work in, the Cincinnati area or whatever your town is. I was wondering if you have any openings or if you have any openings coming up in the future. And see what they say. They might transfer you to somebody. You might get to talk to somebody. They may say yes. They may say no. They may say call back in a month. Who knows? But keep notes of who you talk to. Talk to them about their company. Know a little bit about their company. Notice I said when you call them up, say, hey, I see you do medical courier work, or I see you do food delivery, or I see you do whatever type of delivery it is, because that's going to, even if it's subconscious, it's going to give them the idea that you know a little bit about them, like you've done your homework, which almost nobody does. So that would be one way to at least find out what's available. The next thing would be to pay attention when you're driving around. Some courier companies, will have vans or vehicles with their name and print it right on the side. So you call them. Are you hiring? Is there something, that I can do for you? Now, some of those companies, if they went to all the trouble to have a printed up van or car, they may be like W-2 jobs where you would be an employee and you would be driving a company car. And that's really not a bad gig either sometimes. just depending on what you're doing. I've worked for companies like that, and there's benefits to that, and there's benefits to being an independent contractor. But at least see what they do and what might or might not be available. And then the next thing to do is call some of those out of town companies, because if they're showing up in the search results in your town, but they're in a town 100 miles away, it could be that they have work, they have work in your area and they need somebody to drive back and forth between the two cities. Or they have work in your area, they've expanded, but they don't have a physical office here yet. So don't discount those either. Give them a call. And I know this is hard for some people. They want to do everything over email or online. But you know what? The art of making a phone call is kind of getting lost in today's world. So the person who makes the call and talks to an actual person is going to have a higher probability of getting some interest from that company. And if they are not, if they don't have any openings right now, then ask them, okay, when would be a good time to check back? Should I call you next month? Because things change. People leave, people move jobs, they get new contracts, things change. When can I call you back? In 2 weeks, in a month? Get their name, write it down, and the next time you call, ask for that person. Okay? So those are ways to get your foot in the door as a courier in your city, but you have to be a detective and you have to do your homework. Oh, there's another one. Say that you want to get into the medical courier business. Go hang out at the hospitals and see who drives up. A lot of times couriers will go in the front door, but sometimes they'll go in through the dock and sometimes they'll go in through a side door. So if you hang out in the parking lot and you see people get out with what looks like a uniform on, most companies have at least a t-shirt, maybe a hat, maybe a jacket if it's cooler, and a cooler, like an over-their-shoulder cooler, one they're carrying, chances are they are a medical courier. So take off your shy hat and walk up and say, hey, I see you're a courier. I'm interested in getting into the business. What can you tell me about the company you work for? And usually they'll give you lots of information, because usually those companies are hiring because there is some amount of turnover. So that's another way to get in the door, at least find out information. You're a detective, remember. Find out information about who has the contracts for different hospitals in the area, and then you can go look them up online. Because, the company that has the contract for a couple major hospitals in this area, which is a company that I have done work for before, a lot of work for them. I've done routes for them, I've done on-demand work for them, I've done fill-in work for them. So yeah, I've been working for them for many, many months. But they're not showing up in the Google search because they're not a Cincinnati-based company. They are out of a different state, and when they got the contract, they expanded here. And I don't even know if they have a website or not. I've never really looked. But when I did a search for courier companies, they didn't show up. So how do you find that out? Because there's probably a lot of companies like that. They're a national company or a regional company. They have a contract for a big corporation or a hospital or, a chain of something, but they're not showing up in the search engines because they don't really care. If they want to hire people, they'll have job fairs, or they will put it up on job websites or something like that. And so by talking to people who are already working for them, you're going to get some information. And again, a lot of people aren't going to go to this extra step, they're not going to do that. So if you are assertive and take the initiative, you're going to have a much better chance. So those are my tips for today on how to get your foot in the door with courier companies, or at least how to find them. I guess how to really get your foot in the door might be a different video, but how to find them in your area. And if you are in even a mid-sized city, they're going to be out there. So yeah, that's it for now. Good luck finding a courier job, and I will see you on the road.